Hey guys, so today we are doing two looks based off of the Colourpop Twilight Collection. The first one is the look that I would have wanted out of the collection, what I kind of expected it to look like. And then for the second look, I wanted something that looked more like the Colourpop launch that had those cool tone blues and those silvers. And this is a more innocent Bella look. Their palette is very blue and cool tone. I was not expecting that when they launched. If you are a normal person, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But since I, along with thousands of other people, really wanted the Twilight Collection, you would have noticed all the drama. Colourpop's Twilight Collection being half-assed with them selling out in like 5 minutes, and then with Ulta selling the Twilight Collection at the wrong time and then people missing out again, and then people reselling the collection on eBay for $300. Like, oh my gosh, there was so much right off the bat. I wish Colourpop did some kind of underneath the foundation glow, kind of like Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Flawless Filter or e.l.f.'s Halo Glow Liquid Filter, or like Saie's Glowy Super Gel Illuminator, something for the skin to be glowy. I still want to be glowy like Edward, but I don't want all the glitter and sprinkles involved. I feel like that would have been so cool if Colourpop launched something like this for underneath. So I know they did that whole body glow. That's not something I would personally wear, but I do know that a lot of people really wanted that. So people did want the glow. You can already see the glow. See, something super simple. This would have been really fun if they added something like this. So next I'm just putting on foundation. This is my lightest shade. Again, I'm trying to be all pale and vampire-y. Now that we look dead, let's go on to contour. I'm not going to do bronzer because it didn't look like any of them were bronzer. So I'm just going to be using my KVD Shade Light since it is a contour and it's almost on the verge of going gray cool tone, but not quite there yet. So I feel like this is a good dead vampire contour. Okay, starting from the beginning, I'm gonna pretend like both my best friends are here. They know Colourpop and they both know Twilight. I might tone it down because I would probably talk a little bit more dramatic to them and I wouldn't be scared to say some stuff. I'm gonna pretend like I'm talking to them. Colourpop posted this picture. Red lipstick, lip gloss, dripping red, kind of like a vampire. Everyone started freaking out. They were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're working with Twilight. Like, we're all hyped up. So the first thing they post from the collection are lip oils. And again, I'm in the group who's like, what? I get that lip oils are a trend right now, but nowhere in my mind when I think Twilight, I think lip oils. I didn't know anything about lip oils until like the end of last year, and I certainly never heard or knew about lip oils when Twilight came out when I was 16. So I'm like, what's the connection? And then there's 3 shades. Even though lip oils aren't technically lipsticks or lip stains, lip stain, oh my gosh, that would have worked. Where's the really pretty red lip gloss? And they weren't selling that. None of those lip oils look anything like the first picture. So people are like, okay, you totally fooled us or lied because you do not have that product that hyped us all up. And you know, there's people in the comments being like, guys, calm down. We're just starting off with the collection. This is their first thing. It's gonna get better. And the fact that there is not really much pigment on their lip oils, like why even make 3? So the eyeshadow palette, that was the hugest bummer out of everything. If they slapped the Twilight logo on this and showed this, I would have still loved this more than what they had. If they slapped the Twilight logo on this, even just the packaging alone already looks like vampire-y, and this was there, I would have believed that these were more Twilight versus what they put out. Yes, it's got a blue hue to the movie. Yes, they're in a cold, wet place. There's greens, there's the forest. But again, you could have managed to put some reds. People wanted ambers or like golds for Edward's eyes. They're like, you forgot that there's a bright red apple on the book. There is blood at the end. What about Bella's orange truck? You know, everyone had their reasonings on why there should have been some ambers and some burgundies and some red. So again, the look I'm going for is what I would have loved to see in Colourpop's palette. I swatched the ambers and coppers in this, but I feel like the ones in my KVD Surreal Bloom palette, these look more like Edward's eye color. I'll put this on the outer corner and then this all over. Okay, so continuing with the launch. So after they launched lip oils and then they launched the all over body glow, and then we get the liquid liners. There were 3. There was a red, green, and black. Honestly, that was the closest thing to something I wanted. I thought the red looked really cool. It still wasn't giving Twilight. It looked more Christmassy with the green and red. So next was the highlighters. There was one pinky sheen one and then one regular old white glittery highlighter. Nothing shocking. Each post I was like, eh. To use Gen Z's, I think it's Gen Z's term, everything just felt mid. Nothing was exciting about it. It looked so boring. It looked very half-assed. Like they put no effort into it. So we have one thing left, and it's the eyeshadow palette. And people are starting to get worried. They're like, oh my gosh, everything else practically flopped. Look boring, again half-assed. Let's hope the palette brings them back. Oh, and everyone's pissed off because they never released anything that looked like that red lip color that got everyone excited in the first place. You're not gonna give us a red lipstick, a burgundy lipstick? Vampires, hello. And of course there's people in the comments who are like, it's not about the vampires, it's about Twilight the movie and how blue it is. But I'm telling you, if Colourpop released some kind of red, some kind of glittery red lipstick, a lot of us would have gone for it. I don't know if it's because they were trying to be different and not make it so vampire-y and red. Everyone was giving them the benefit of the doubt, saying like, oh, don't worry, they're gonna release a collection for New Moon, so you know, maybe there's gonna be a red one coming up. Okay, so finally, after teasing us for so long, they finally released the palette. And of course, a lot of us are like, what the F is this? People are like, where's our reds? Where's our golds? Again, for Edward's eyes, ambers. And then there's people defending it, saying like, hey, again, we're basing this off the first movie where it's very blue. There's so many shades in that palette where they don't need it. Like a lot of them look replayed. They could have easily taken out 2 or 3 of those blue silver tone shades and then put the red in or the amber in for the rest of us. So I'm gonna put this all over the eye. Oh my gosh, there were so many comments that just made me giggle. So the people who were defending the palette, they were like, you know, only the true diehard fans love this palette. I'm just like, what? We can appreciate it because we're the real fans. We can appreciate the blues and the cool tones. I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense. So I'm like, what if it was the opposite? What if everything was red and gray and black for the vampires and you didn't like it? So would you not be a real true fan because you didn't like a eyeshadow palette? Makes no sense. Like there's no connection to, since I love this eyeshadow palette so much, that means I'm a bigger fan of Twilight. Like what? I'm like, girl, you weren't even born before Twilight came out. But yeah, reading the comments was funny. Also, since I looked at that palette so much on Instagram, for the life of me, I cannot figure out why it looked so familiar. I looked through all my palettes and then I realized it looks so much like e.l.f.'s denim collection with American Eagle, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's it. They look so similar. So I do have a video with that palette, the e.l.f. denim palette. That was the drama of just the pictures they released on Instagram. Now we're going into the drama on launch day. Oh, one big thing that pissed me off personally is I emailed Colourpop 2 days before the launch and I said, hey, is there anything in the Twilight collection that's not vegan? I only use vegan products, so I wanted to know before I bought the whole collection. And they did not reply. You know, I'm getting anxious. I'm like, I need to check out as fast as I can because I know everyone's gonna be wanting to buy the collection. So like, it would have been nice to know ahead of time which ones I could and couldn't buy. I instantly add the whole collection to my cart. After I added the whole collection, I then pressed on each item in the collection. I was making sure that each one was vegan because again, no one emailed me back saying like, hey, everything's vegan. And then by the time I check out, they're like, okay, it's a 3-minute wait. And once it comes up to my turn, they're like, oh, sorry, the full collection is sold out. And then I'm like, okay, let me go back and just put in the palette and then that one eyeliner and then maybe a highlight. So I did that and they were like, okay, well, these 2 are sold out. And then by the time like I got to check out, everything was sold out. So you literally had to buy what you wanted within a minute. So I'm pissed. I'm like, what the hell? I was so excited for this. Everything sold out in like 4 to 6 minutes. I go to Instagram and then people were noticing that people were already selling them on eBay for like $300. Okay, now let's move on to highlighter. We're gonna go in with a Mary Luminizer from the Balm. I want a really white, stark, bright highlight. Again, it makes sense that Colourpop did a very glittery one because again, we're talking vampire skin. So yeah, if I wanted to do a highlight for Twilight, then it would be something like this. So onto the lips. I know people were like, no, there was no reason to do a red lipstick. I mean, there was technically that scene in the first movie where she's dreaming and she does have red, like dark red kind of burgundy lipstick on when Edward's biting her. I think would have been so pretty and cool. I still have the sample from my favorite lipstick. Oh my gosh, this is what I wish Colourpop made. It's like this red, glittery, this is Black Metal Dahlia. I did a look years ago. I wanted something like this, very red and glittery and I don't want to say bloody, but bloody. So I think would have been super pretty if they did some color like this from Black Moon Cosmetics. These shades I feel like they would have been so perfect for the collection. There's also this palette from Lethal Cosmetics where I'm like, oh my gosh, that also would have been a really cool Twilight palette. Let's go back to the lipstick. I'm gonna be using NYX's Currant Lip Liner and then Lime Crime's lipstick in Wicked. Oh, we even go to the NYX Drama. Everyone's pissed off that they missed the collection. And Colourpop's like, guys, don't worry, it's coming to Ulta in a few days. So now everyone's going over to Ulta on Instagram and they're like, okay guys, you're releasing a palette, but can you at least give us the time that you're launching it? And there are multiple comments from Ulta. People even screenshotted it. They were telling everyone January 14, 12 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. So I'm on Instagram and then Trend Mood posts on Instagram on the 13th. This is 9 p.m. my time. And I noticed her post. It was 20 minutes ago. She was like, guys, Twilight Collection is out now on Ulta. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not supposed to launch until tomorrow afternoon. I immediately go to Ulta. Everything's sold out. Okay, at this point, I'm over it. I'm like, you know what? It's not worth it. It's not worth the drama and the stress. And yeah, when I found out the whole Ulta thing, I was just like, oh my gosh, the people who are gonna wake up all excited in the morning to find out it already sold out last night, they're gonna be pissed. Okay, that is our first look. This is kind of what I expected out of Twilight Collection. I expected some kind of red lipstick. I expected some kind of amber for Edward's eyes, some kind of glow, some kind of glitter lipstick. It could have been a glitter gloss, not lip oils. Maybe a blush, because again, the vampires need to wear blush because they will look very dead. So yeah, let's go on to more Bella vibes, more like tame, innocent. And now I'm kind of going off more of Colourpop's palette. These are from Inglot. I'm using those two cool tones and then this blue. So this is in the shade 338. I don't know if they're selling these anymore. Okay, now that I'm done bashing Colourpop's launch, we can talk about Twilight. Okay, so it took me a while to remember this because this was like 16, 17 years ago. But my first memory, all I know is that I had the Twilight book. I just remember reading it. I was in a computer room. So in the Philippines, college starts at 16. So I'm in college. I hang out with a bunch of my college friends at this computer room. It took me a while to remember, but I think it was from one of my friends. Either he bought the book for his girlfriend or it was his girlfriend's book and he was holding it for her. I had to have grabbed it from him because I never bought Twilight books. All the books I read were from him. So I just grabbed it and then I got really into it. So I used to be pretty active in our little friend group. I'm always there talking with everyone. We're always chatting after school. We're always hanging out. But once I got my hands on the Twilight book, I did not talk to anyone. And my friends were so sweet. They never like bothered me. They're like, oh, Sasha's reading Twilight. Like, Sasha's reading her book, don't bother her. So like I always ended up in the corner in the computer shop, just reading the book while my friends were talking. Twilight just had a hold on me. I'm done with the book and I'm like, give me the next one. Where's the next books? I don't even know if they were all released yet. Maybe there was like one or two, but like I was craving the next book. I remember we went to a restaurant after class and you know, we're all chatting, we ordered, and I'm still, you know, my friends are on the side over here. I'm still over here reading Twilight. And like I said, they're amazing. Like I don't remember them ever bothering me or being like, hey Sasha, stop reading. Like no, they let me do my thing. And then when I finally finished Twilight, I can't remember if it was the first one or 3 books in or the final book. I was so in the story. I don't know why I want to say encapsulated. I was so, okay, let's say encapsulated in the story. It felt so real. I was done with the book and I'm like, what do I do now with my life? So I'm pretty sure I just went on to living my life and going to classes and got over whatever funk that is. I feel like I read the books and then next thing I know, there's a movie for it. So I bring this guy, we're kinda sorta dating, flirting, but we're not official. We were like never official, but everyone knew we were kind of dating. And I brought him with me to watch the first Twilight movie. He was so into it. He was, again, like we're teenagers. We're living for that whole teenage high school romance thing, you know? Obviously, just like any other person who reads the book first, movies always kind of disappoint you. So I did have that vibe like, ooh, there's a lot of stuff they are missing. And honestly, I didn't like Edward. I did not think he was cute or hot. I mean, as the movie went on, I was like, okay, they're cute together, but like me personally, I didn't think he was hot. I kind of expected more from Edward. Again, that's what happens when you read a book. You create what everyone looks like in your head. And then when you see it in the movies, you're kind of like, that's not what I was going for. Okay, now let's go in with this. This is number 307. I feel like Colourpop just had the means to make it so much better. Yes, we're not bashing. We're just back to talking about Colourpop. Okay, now for the last eyeshadow, going in with Summer Fling by Give Me Glow Cosmetics. This is a gorgeous like ocean blue. Like, look how pretty that is. Wait, was it this one or this one? I have a feeling it was Peri. Let me look back at the Colourpop palette again because I was going based off of a glitter in the palette. Yeah, there's no bright blues like this, but there is kind of like a purple shimmer. Yeah, that looks more of the Twilight palette vibes. I mean, this is a shade that looks like it could be called Twilight. Don't sleep on Give Me Glow Cosmetics. Oh my gosh, these are some of the best eyeshadows, colors, and formula-wise. These down here are all from Give Me Glow Cosmetics. They have the most gorgeous glittery shimmer eyeshadows. So for the inner corner, I'm gonna go back in with the KVD palette and use this white one. See, now I'm looking a little bit dead again because of the cool tone blues. Okay, so for blush, I'm gonna be using LYS's matte cream blush in the shade Humble. I feel like this looks Bella-y. When I picture her blush in my mind, it's not peachy, it's not purple, it's youthful, and it's pink. And I feel like this is the closest I have. Bella's in the prime of her life. She's about to turn 18 and she's like, you know what? I've known this guy for a few months. I wanna die for him. Freaking 18-year-olds think they know what they want. I swear, you think you know what you want at 18? I mean, some people do. Some people really know what they want that young and go for it. But I mean, your brains haven't full. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I just saw that. It was a meme. Like literally yesterday I saw it. They said something like, no wonder Edward acts the way he does because he died at 17 when his brain hadn't even fully formed yet or something like that. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I already feel more like Bella now with this pink blush. Since I watched it again just to look at like the makeup and everything, Bella uses lots of really pink lipsticks or her lips are just naturally super pink. And then the Cullens obviously have to wear lipstick because they look dead. And then Edward's lipstick is always really dark brown. Colourpop could have technically done that, like based it off Bella and Edward's lips shade in the movie. Again, what I wish Colourpop kind of made for the collection was something like this. This is from Patrick Ta. I fell so in love with this when I did my Black Friday haul in the shade She's Expensive. Just by itself, even though it's so glittery, it doesn't look too much. Even though you see the glitter, it's not giving Claire's kids makeup, you know? And I feel like something like this would have been perfect. See, just right there, you see that? This would have been perfect for the launch. It's white, but it's not scary white, and there's lots of glitter. And again, it's not like a child glitter, you know? Like, it just works. And I just feel like something like this would have been perfect with the collection. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry I couldn't show the actual product. I'm over it, honestly, but hopefully if you do get the palette, you could totally create something like this. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.